Hey everyone, it's me again. I promised you all a review on the Samsung Eternity, and as you know from watching my unboxing of the iPhone 3G, I took it back because it was actually acting up on me, and I'll go ahead and get this out of the way. The only thing that was really acting up, not saying it's a bad phone at all, was the touchscreen really wasn't as responsive as I would like. And as I mentioned in the last video, being a previous iPhone owner and user, finding a touchscreen with as good of a response or touch interface as the iPhone is dang near impossible. So it's really hard to choose a phone that's a touchscreen of your liking. Besides that, it's a great phone. I made a whole list of pros and cons, and I don't know if any of the pros or cons have changed since I owned it for not even a week, but I am going to go over them. Let's start with the pros. Alright, first thing was what I thought the touchscreen sensitivity was good. Compared to the iPhone, which a lot of people like to do is compare touchscreens to the iPhone, it wasn't all that great. But as its own touchscreen, comparing it to the View, which I owned before, it was great. It wasn't bad at all. Texting was alright on it. Getting places was alright. Sometimes you had to press a couple times to get it to work, but not always. Next was the 3.5mm headphone jack. It was great. You don't find many phones with one, and when you do, it comes in handy because you don't like to get those proprietary headphone jacks. They just get in the way and they get kind of irritating. It's really hard to find headphones for them, and when you have your own favorite pair of headphones, it comes in handy. I never really got to use it, but it worked. I showed in my unboxing that my headphones fit in it, so it made me happy. The battery life, it's now going to be a con. I didn't talk all that much on it, didn't go all crazy on it or anything, and yet in the whole 4 or 5 days I had it, I had to charge it like 3 or 4 times, and it was terrible. I wouldn't want to do that. I don't want to have to charge my phone every single night, so I didn't like that at all. The texting on the QWERTY, like I said, with touchscreen responsiveness, compared to the iPhone, not good. Alone as its own touchscreen, the QWERTY was really good, and it was really responsive. The only thing I didn't like was the fact that the space bar was really tiny, and sometimes I would hit the question mark when doing it. The accelerometer, see, now that's something I liked also, because with the View, you actually had to press its own little button to get to the horizontal landscape mode for the QWERTY, but with this, you just turned it over and it worked, and it was really fast too. You turned it over and it was there, and that came in really good handy. The proximity sensor. Took that from the iPhone. Smart move. Put it up to your face for talking. Had a little sensor up there by the earphone for talking, and the screen would go black, and you couldn't press any buttons. So hitting it with your ear or your cheek wouldn't press anything you didn't want. Next thing you know, you're on speakerphone. It's blasting in your ear. Not going to happen. Proximity sensor set in as soon as it could. I did have one little glitch with it, but it wasn't a big deal. The GUI interface and widgets, the only thing I didn't like about the widgets was there wasn't many, and you couldn't go online and buy any or download any third-party widgets. The widgets it came with came in really handy, and you could put them anywhere on the screen. The interface was nice. It was nice and clean. It wasn't all pixelated or anything, so it was nice too. The picture quality had a really good camera. It had a 3.0 megapixel camera. It didn't have a flash, but not a big deal. What I liked about it was you could do panorama, and you could sit there and take 6 shots and follow it around the room and get a complete shot of basically all the way around your living room. It was really nice, and plus just the picture quality, it was just great all together. It didn't even look like it was a 3.0 megapixel. It looked like it could have been a 6 or 7, you know. It was really good. Only played with it for a little while. Screen size, one of the bigger touchscreen phones, smaller than the iPhone, but still a big screen compared to the View, or even I think the Palm Pre that came out. I think it even has a smaller screen than the Eternity. You do have YouTube access, and the web browser wasn't awful. It's just trying to get full HTML wasn't the best. And the price wasn't terrible either. You get it from AT&T, you're going to be spending $129.99 for a new 2-year contract or an upgrade. Go to Best Buy, go to Walmart. I got it for $79.99, which sounded good at the time, but as soon as they WWDC announced the iPhone 3GS, the refurbished iPhone 3G, which is what I got, went down to $79.99, which is what made me turn around and go get it. It was the exact same price as the Eternity. And internet, though, was only $10 a month, which is really cheap for internet. And normally it's like 15 or 20, and I got it for 10, which was a good price. I jumped on that in a heartbeat once the guy said it. The edge speed is actually moderately fast. You wouldn't think the edge would be fast whatsoever, because 3G is the fastest, you know, and at my house all I get is edge. Only when I'm in Tulsa can I get 3G. Well, edge was pretty darn fast for that. I mean, it was kind of, honestly, I think the edge on the Eternity was a little faster than the edge on the 3G. But, well, not on the 3G, but on the iPhone 3G. But I think that's just because the iPhone 3G pulls up full websites and this so-called HTML browser didn't, so it was a little faster with that because it was pulling up mobile sites and small Java stuff, you know. The build quality, it was great. Honestly, the build quality seems sturdy. The battery backing on it felt like it was a brushed metal, but wasn't. It was actually plastic. But the weight of the phone and the way it felt, it was great. It was dang near the most perfect weight there was. It was kind of bottom heavy, but it felt great in your hand. And the size of the phone was just, it was a good size. It was smaller than the iPhone, but yet felt like you were basically holding one, except for it was a little more square, not as rounded. The location of the lock key was just like the iPhone. You bring out the iPhone, you've got the lock key right here. That's exactly where the lock key was on the Eternity. So I was used to it, you know, being a previous iPhone owner. I just clicked it right off the bat every single time. And you can use the volume rocker as a scroll button. I don't know how many people realize that, but I was just messing around and I was in menus like my settings and I just hit the volume button and it started scrolling down. And that comes in handy too, kind of have like a jog wheel like you would on PDA phones. Now, I'm going to make a different video on the cons. I'll just call this my pros because I'm already hitting 7.5 minutes and I can only go 10. So, rate, comment, and subscribe. Look for part 2 of this video. So, peace, love, and bye-bye my previous Samsung Eternity. So, alright, tune in for the next episode.